Jazz 88.3 in the new jazz thing. Music there from Alfredo Rodriguez. Joining him in the band, among others, is Pedrito Martinez, and Esperanza Spalding, and more. The new disc is called The Invasion Parade, and the title track is what we were listening to there on the New Jazz Thing. You're listening to the New Jazz Thing. My name is Vince Outlaw, and joining us in the studio this evening is Joshua White. Joshua White will be leading a band in a concert at the Loft at UCSD called Codes, the show is. It's in honor of Black History Month, and Joshua White joins us this evening to chat about it here on the New Jazz Thing. Joshua, thanks for being with us tonight.
Oh, thank you, Vince. Great to be here.
So, really excited for this concert. Presentation, really trying to even figure out what it is, because you're featuring, I see the names of some of the greats in literature, in African-American literature, Langston Hughes, Amiri Baraka, and more. Tell us a little bit about the show. Let's start with the name Codes in triple parens on each side. What is Codes?
Well, Codes was just a way that, well, let me begin by saying, like, about a few months ago, I was given a book of showcasing the work of the great artist Romare Bearden, who is very well known in the as a painter and as, you know, like just a great artist in general, who's worked with Anthony Davis, and that's how I became more familiar with his work. But I was given this book, and I was just like studying a lot of the his pieces and things like that. And when I was approached to do this show at the Loft, celebrating Black History Month, I really wanted to do something different and focus the music in another direction. So when I was thinking of like conceptually what I wanted to do, I had been studying a lot of poetry also at that time, and I just wanted to do something that would incorporate, you know, all these different types of mediums in, you know, one, you know, expression, you know, one band. And so in studying the artwork, I just was looking at like all these different pieces, and the word codes kept, you know, like circulating in my brain. And I was thinking about what that actually means to me, and it's a way of just having a form of expression, but not necessarily in a literal fashion. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's a lot of these pieces and a lot of these works by these great poets who we're going to showcase on Friday are like on the surface they may be humorous, or they may be, you know, kind of you know, jarring in terms of the language that they use. But a lot of times what that is a way of getting you to listen and really focus in on what's actually being said. And that's how we approach, you know, that's how I try to approach my music as well. You know, so some of these things may be, you know, jarring, or, you know, like humorous, or like or different approaches, but there's a story being told, you know, you know, an overarching theme, you know, within the music or within the art or within the poetry.
So remind folks when the gig is this week.
Oh, so we'll be at the Loft on the campus of UCSD this Friday. Doors open at, I think, 7:30. The show begins at 8 p.m. and we're doing 2 sets, and we have a lot of great artists coming that evening.
And so the show, does it include the words, the words that some of these people, like as I said, Langston Hughes, are there other? How are they being presented? Because it's original music that's written also, right?
Right. Well, it's going to be original music as well as improvised, you know, reactions by the musicians to the words being, you know, being spoken by Dwight Tribble, who's a great vocalist who I had the pleasure of working with a couple of months ago. And, you know, we actually had this, a similar program showcased at the Blue Whale, featuring also Hamilton Price and a great drummer up in Los Angeles, Aaron McClendon. You know, and a lot of it's just, what I wanted to focus on was using the basis of the works by Amiri Baraka, Maya Angelou, Langston Hughes, and others as a basis for us to interpret musically with those works, and interact with them.
So then you mentioned several names there: Hamilton Price and Dwight Tribble. You've got some other folks on this date too. Make sure that everybody in the band gets.
Oh yes, and on drums we have a special guest, Mr. Marvin Smitty Smith,
Wow.
who I worked with like a few times a couple of months ago, and it's always a pleasure to he adds so much to the music, and he's always a great listener and a great musician and a great interpreter of a wide range of styles, and just a pleasure to work with. And also we have us joining us on vocals, Miss Janet Wilson, who I first met. She sings over at Calvary Baptist Church, and I just thought it would be a great addition to really open up the sets with having her interpret some of the great Negro spirituals, to kind of set the tone for the evening, as well as including different facets of poetry.
And did I see Kamau Kenyatta's
as
name
well,
on there?
Kamau. Forgive me, Kamau.
It's all right.
And definitely another great musician on saxophone. I definitely want to include Mr. Kamau Kenyatta, another person who's been very influential in opening up a lot of different things to me in terms of arts and literature and music.
Excellent. Well, I want to remind people we're chatting with Joshua White here on the New Jazz Thing at Jazz 88. He's chatting about his upcoming date at the Loft at UCSD called Codes this Friday, the 7th of February. There's information about the date. We've got links to Joshua's page and the date out on the jazz88.org blog at jazz88.org/blog. Also a link to an article that featured Joshua, written by George Varga a couple weeks back here in the San Diego Union Tribune. So Joshua, what other things are you working on now? This is fantastic work here. We've been following you for a long time, and you're playing a lot of dates. I don't believe we've yet to see a Joshua White recording yet here in the library at Jazz 88. Am I correct?
You are absolutely correct on that.
And so can you give us a status on that? It's not that important since we can see you a lot around town, but we would love to see some recorded stuff that we can play here on the station.
Oh, definitely. And it's I love playing all these dates and getting a chance to work with different people and working my music, but I definitely think it's time to record my album. And actually this year I'm really trying to, that's my main goal, is to focus and really put all the pieces together in order to make it happen. But there are a lot of different pieces, one being funding, which it's pretty expensive to try to put a project together. So it's being able to really stay organized and stay focused and really make sure I can do this right. If I'm going to put a project together, I'm going to have it done the way that it best represents who I am as a musician at this point in time.
Right. Well, so I wanted to remind folks one more time. Can you tell them, Joshua, when the gig is and how they can get more information about you?
Okay, so we're playing this Friday evening at the Loft on the campus of UCSD. Showtime starts at 8 p.m. And we are Codes, featuring myself, Joshua White, on piano, Hamilton Price on bass, Mr. Marvin Smitty Smith on drums, Kamau Kenyatta on soprano sax, and Dwight Tribble on vocals and spoken word, as well as special guest Janet Wilson on vocals.
So Joshua, really appreciate you hanging out with us tonight, coming down to the station. I'm really looking forward to this gig, and I get the honor of being able to introduce the band there at UCSD, so really excited about that. And so best of luck with the gig and with your year of organizing and hopefully getting that disc out, but just continuing to grow as a musician. Good luck.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
Joshua White here on the New Jazz Thing, and we'll have that interview and more information about Codes up on the Jazz 88 website. We're coming up to the top 10 countdown on the Jazz Week Jazz album charts. We're going to take you there with music from Bill Banfield's Jazz Urbane. Playing with Other People's Heads is the name of this new one, and this is Swinehouse Blues. It's all about the new on the New Jazz Thing, Jazz 88.3. All right.